Hey guys, it's me, Bean Dip, and today's video is going to be 8 things I learned from streaming on Twitch for 8 years. I just passed this huge milestone yesterday. April 22nd, 2017 was my first ever Twitch stream, and so now I've been doing it for 8 years, and I thought perhaps you guys would want to know some tips. I love doing advice videos, if anyone's curious, these are 8 things from a professional streamer. Let's get right into it. Okay, the first tip I have for you guys is that setup matters, but not in the way you think. So for the first 6 years, I used a little webcam, Microsoft webcam for my camera and my mic, which I do think maybe slowed me down a bit in terms of growth. So this is a screen cap from one of my really early streams in 2017. You can see my cam in the top right. That's the camera I used until approximately maybe like 2022. As you can see, it's very tiny, it's pretty grainy, but I was having a lot of fun, so there's that. So I put my content first back then. I was just staying consistent. I mean, I still streamed, but I wasn't prioritizing. I think I surpassed the point. There's some kind of threshold, like make your upgrades match your stream, Maybe you're starting to average 10 viewers and, it's time to like upgrade the microphone, whatever, kind of like assess what needs to be done. I was just so cheap that oh gosh, I was so cheap that I just didn't want to invest. But invest in your stream. Setup does matter, but don't just, if you want to like play video games and you want to stream, the setup matters, but make sure you're doing all these other things that I'm going to talk about first. Don't just get a professional setup and then just, is that making sense? Wrote here in my notes that a great setup is nothing without great content, which I think is super true. That's all I was trying to say, is that, make sure you're leveling up your equipment with your streams, if that makes sense. Upgrade as you go. I'm really glad I got this camera. I got it right after TwitchCon. I'm really glad that I did it, but I wish I'd got it sooner and not so close to like, I don't know, 8 years after I started streaming. I definitely could have taken this step earlier, but I did get a new cam. I've had these lights. I could definitely upgrade my background a little bit more as I speak, so I'm gonna write that tip down for myself. All right, tip number 2. A schedule is better than no schedule, but if nothing else, stay consistent and communicate with your community. So I didn't have a consistent schedule until summer 2024, which was only about a year ago. I've only been having a consistent schedule for a year. So about 7 years in, I finally started to create weekly schedules with scheduled content, which I'm very glad that I did. It helps everyone know what content's going to be happening, it helps them be able to prepare. I have noticed my view count go up ever since I started making the schedule, so it's a great thing. Let the people know. Post it on Discord. I could be better about, I think Twitch has like a built-in schedule maker. I could probably input it there as well, but I'm super, like, I upload the schedule probably like 5 minutes before I go live. So I could definitely make it in advance so that I can upload it on Twitch. I could be better about the schedule making, but at least I have it. And then also keep people in the loop through Discord, social media. If you're going on a vacation or something, let people know through your Discord, through your schedules. Don't just leave people hanging. Make a schedule. It keeps me structured in my life. It's like I have to be there. Sometimes I'm like 10 minutes late, sometimes more, which is I'm not proud of, but at least I'm, I have a set time. And if I'm not there, like people know to be like, oh, what happened? What's going, I don't know. Ugh, now I'm just rambling. But I think the people really appreciate it and they know when to be there and they know when to show up. I highly recommend making a schedule, even if it's like you're only going to stream twice a week. Let them know when. I highly recommend making a schedule. Tip number 3, don't let your feelings control the stream. This is something that I think have always struggled with. Like for example, when I'm frustrated, when I'm not seeing the results that I want, I think I used to in the past let it affect my mood. And I kind of talked about this in one of my other tip videos, but I would let my feelings control the stream, which is not really where you want to be. I mean, if you're in a happy mood, you know, I guess no, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm trying to talk about is like, don't let the fear, for example, fear is a very powerful emotion. Don't let the fear of, I don't know, losing some viewers to, if you want to try out this game or this content, but you're afraid of, I don't know, you know, losing viewers or people, you know, from high school judging you, you know, don't let that fear control you. Really, if you have a really good idea for something, you know, stick with that. Stick with that. Don't let the feelings control you. For example, I always loved Age of Empires 2. I was really afraid to branch out because I was afraid of the comments I would get. People, whenever I tried to play another game, the comments would always say, "Where's AoE? Where's AoE 2?" I just had to learn to not let those comments affect me. I would just end up streaming Age of Empires way more than I wanted to as a creator because I was afraid of like those kind of comments, which really impacted me for a long time in terms of like, there's so much else I could have been doing at the time as a creator, but since I felt stuck in my little comfortable bubble, you know, sometimes that comfort bubble is not really what's good for you if you're trying to grow, is all I'm trying to say. I felt pressure to stay in that game. Oh, and then sometimes I would not go live because I was feeling anxious or, you know, just like, oh, I don't think people will show up. You know, it's a slow day. I was just so afraid that like people wouldn't show up, or I used to get the pre-stream scaries, especially like, I don't know, maybe between like 2020 and 2023. I don't know. There was in the very beginning, I actually wasn't afraid. I don't remember feeling anxiety before. Maybe I did. It's so hard to remember because it's been so long. But yes, I think going live will always, nearly always, be better than not going live. I just qualified my statement because maybe, you know, if you're about to do something terrible, maybe you shouldn't go live. Huh. I don't know. I want to say going live will nearly always be better than not. So go live, do what you feels best, and don't let your feelings control you. You know, like if a troll's coming in and teasing you, that's their problem, not yours. You know, don't get frustrated. If you're losing, don't let it affect the stream. Don't end early. This is also like, you know, advice I would give to my younger self, because I think I would get mad, be like, oh, I'm such a loser, I'm losing in all the games, and it would make me want to get off. But it's like, don't let those emotions, don't let your feelings control the stream, you know? Because like as the streamer, you are in charge. Those people are there watching you. If you're letting your feelings control the stream, then like your feelings become the most important thing. And then what if you're, you know, ending early and then like, oh, you know, just, I don't know. I hope that makes sense. Like it's natural. It's natural to have feelings. You can feel the feels, but don't let it control the stream. Tip number 4 that I learned is the importance of connecting with other communities and streamers. I did not used to watch other streamers. I was so focused on my own thing. Not that I would watch once in a while, but I wouldn't watch all the time other streamers. I wouldn't really branch out. I just kind of, I mean, maybe if a streamer came into my stream, you know, that's how I would meet people, but I didn't go out and initiate anything on my own, which I think is a mistake. I think as a streamer, if you want to grow, connect with other streamers and communities. Ludwig actually has a video that I watched, and he did a poll where he asked his other big streamer friends how many of them watched other streamers, and like 90% of them said they watch other streamers, you know. I think it's a good way to get inspired. It's a good way to grow your own community, you know, merge communities together. I have a lot of Twitch friends, and I think my stream has grown a lot over the past year just by meeting other people. And yeah, I think it's a wonderful tool. When you meet people, you expand your network. You know, it's just another tool to access. You never know what can come from meeting new people. The bigger the network, the better. So meet people online, go out there, look up your favorite game, look at streamers, see what they're doing, chat in the chat. Go to TwitchCon. That is the importance of connecting with other streamers. I met so many wonderful creators at TwitchCon. I met so many wonderful viewers. I think it's really important connecting and networking with other people. It's a big part of what Twitch is about. I think I used to just stick to my own stream a lot, and I would expect growth, right? Like I would just do my own thing, and I'm like, oh, like why am I not growing? It's like, do you guys understand how powerful it is when like someone rates you with their stream and you're meeting people and then you're watching their stream and then you see them in the chat, and like that's what Twitch is all about. I think a couple years ago when I was first starting out full time, I really kept to myself. The only people I met were people who showed up in my stream. I didn't think about branching out. I think it is so important to connect with other creators and streamers and viewers. So definitely do that. And that leads us to tip number 5. Find a way to feed people into your stream naturally. And by this, I mean through other platforms, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram Reels, IG Reels, Shorts, Twitter. You know, I think a lot of big streamers have hit tweets and they're going viral on Twitter. I'm personally not very good at Twitter. Maybe someday, although it hasn't happened yet. I'm just not naturally a Twitter person, but I wish I was. Twitch has some organic growth, but it's not a ton. If you just go live every day expecting to blow up, it's highly unlikely. It's possible. You know, maybe Kai Cenat watches your stream. I don't know. Anything's possible. But I think it's way more likely that you will grow as a streamer if you are feeding viewers in from somewhere else. So for me, what's worked really well for the past couple of years is multi-streaming on TikTok. So many of my current community members have come from TikTok. It's just a way to reach other people who maybe normally wouldn't be on Twitch. Yeah, you can't really go live and expect people to just show up out of nowhere. I mean, that's what I did. I would go live and I was like, oh, like, I mean, I'm kind of growing. Like, people are finding me maybe because of Age of Empires or because of chess. But, you know, when I started multi-streaming, posting TikToks, posting on YouTube, people would come in the chat and say, hey, like, I just watched your YouTube video on your gaming setup or your Twitch tips. And I'm like, oh, thank you for watching, you know. I definitely could be better. I think I need to post more clips just like from my streams. That I have trouble with because, I don't know, I feel like I don't have a very clippable stream. But maybe I do, or maybe I just don't know how to edit very well. But I think the multi-streaming at the very least is pretty important. And I do post content when I can, but I could definitely myself be better at this. I don't think I have the best system for feeding people into my Twitch channel, but I do some things. And so if I could give you a tip, if you have no other ways of feeding people in, do that. Find an organic place to post content that'll feed people to your Twitch channel. The 6th thing that I learned is that emotes make a community. And this is true. And I really, throughout my 8 years, I kind of understated. I was really lazy about my emotes, you know. I mean, one time I commissioned emotes on my face, like the Bean D wave, and but they weren't anything special or spammable. I have about 30 empty animated emote slots actually right now as I speak. I only, like a couple weeks ago, got some Groot emotes. I want baby Groot to be my stream mascot. He's very cute. Maybe I can put them here. W baby Groot. So I think, you know, I was realizing I was seeing all these cute emotes that my viewers were using of other streamers, like the Tifachuya. It's a little dancing Pikachu, or Brianna Dance. You know, Soliver will always use this emote and he'll say like bean dance and I do a little dance. I don't know. It's just something funny and cute, but like having a cute animated emote or just an emote of a meme that you might have from a stream. I think I am not even perfect at this myself yet. Not that I was insinuating I'm perfect at any of these, but I think if I could tell you right now, like what I've learned, it's that emotes make a community, and I don't think, you know, you should understate. Don't forget about your emotes. They are important. They can be used across the Twitch platform. Actually, another streamer, Sareem, found my channel and I actually met her at TwitchCon. She's a wonderful creator. I met her because she saw my little Beandy Wiggle Bear, and then she also has those emotes. And yeah, it's just bringing people together. Make sure the emotes represent your personality and what kind of vibe you're going for. I think, you know, most streamers should have like a little dancing emote. Just, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I like it. And I don't even have a Beandy dance yet, but I'm working on it. I just think that, you know, when you open up a streamer's stream and they're all in there like posting the little emotes, it just really, you can sense the vibe from those. And, you know, I would just make sure you have some good emotes in your arsenal. The importance of emotes. So yeah, the emotes, they bring people together, they create memes and therefore memories. So yeah. The seventh thing I learned is to designate good mods. Mods can make or break a community. Figure out what kind of vibe fits your stream. Figure out your boundaries. You know, what kind of stream are you going for? You know, some streamers are 18 plus, and if those are your vibes, go for it. Find a trustworthy person in the chat. Maybe it's someone you know IRL. Maybe it's someone who's just there consistently and you recognize and you trust. And, you know, find a way to communicate with your mods. For me, the best way is through Discord. I have a channel where we can all talk together. I just communicate with them on a weekly basis and we can touch base about what's going on. And I mean, they already know to follow the stream rules. You know, because like there's some things that are like, oh, we don't know like if we should ban that or like keep an eye on this person. So communication is really important with your mods. For example, if you're super lenient, you don't want a strict mod, right? Maybe there's someone out there deleting every message, or, you know, maybe that's not the vibe you want. So find a mod that's, yeah, maybe your homie who's like not gonna do anything. But if you're like me and you do have a lot of boundaries and rules for the stream, I would find those trustworthy people that you trust to uphold your boundaries. And I love my mods. They're amazing. They're the best mods on Twitch. I will stand by that. Just find somewhere for them, a Discord channel where you guys can chat. You can communicate and they know how to align all the rules in line with the chat. And it's really created a wonderful vibe for the community. I think everyone really appreciates my mods on TikTok and Twitch. We have great mods. So yeah, I would designate some good mods. And the eighth and final thing that I've learned from all these years on Twitch is to make memories and make memorable moments. I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but it's extremely important and valuable. No matter what kind of creator you are, if you make your stream memorable, people are going to remember that. The jokes, the content. If you're making memorable moments in your stream, people are going to want to stick around and they're going to want to come back. So, you know, if you're just sitting there playing a game, doing nothing, that sounds mean, but you know, if you're just like, if there's nothing that stands out or makes it special or makes it memorable, that's where you might run into some hiccups. I don't know if some hiccups, but that's when you're just kind of not gonna be elevating your content. You're not gonna be sticking out and maybe not growing. I don't know, or maybe you will. That would be cool. But think about some of your favorite streamers and think about what makes them your favorite. Was it something they did that stuck out to you? Was it something funny? Did they make you laugh? Did they make you feel special? Think about what kind of creator your favorite streamer is, and think about the memories that they maybe made for you that made you want to come back, and perhaps try and replicate some of that magic in your own streams, if you shall, if you dare. But no, seriously. No, I think some of my favorite streamers early on, I just remember coming back. Every stream was a fun moment. The streamers that I watch even today, every time I go in, I'm just feeling super happy. You know I'm gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have memes to joke around about. And that's, I think to me, that's what makes people want to come back to a stream. It could even, a memory doesn't have to be like for example, I'm trying to say, like, if someone's like a big lurker and, how are they going to make a memory? Well, maybe they really enjoy coming into your stream and you ask people how they're doing and how their day is, and they're like, wow, like that's nice. Every time I come into this person's stream, they're just having a positive attitude and asking everyone how their day is. Maybe they'll come back. Or maybe you're super funny and you have a little, well, like, what is this? Something you have, like a hat. No, not a hat. Like for me, I have a mini fridge. Maybe people enjoy seeing the mini fridge. Maybe they enjoy the food treats. Maybe that's not memorable, but I don't know. Like, I think making memories is so important. Like, for example, every Saturday I play Fortnite with my dad. I have cooking streams with my sister, Aaliyah. I've been playing Lost Records, which is a Life is Strange game, with my sister Lily and Allison. We used to play Phasmophobia. I just feel like making memories, for me, it's so important. And not just, like, I don't know, I mean, I hope it translates to memories for you guys too, if that makes sense. Like, because I mean, they're memories for me, but I think hopefully that's why people come back. I don't know, I'm not sounding very confident. I don't know, I just think, memories are the one thing that we have that really, like, special, So if you can make your stream special and you can make people want to come back to your stream, I think that's really important. And so I would say maybe, yeah, find something, come up with something that maybe could make your stream memorable. It doesn't even have to be a big thing. Like I said, just like a positive attitude. Hey, how was your day? Or like, yeah, inside joke, or maybe have your mom on stream. I don't know, your cousin Billy. Like, what's making your stream memorable? Maybe, something. I don't know. That's for you to know and me to find out. Or that's for you to do and figure out. Okay. So that is everything. Not everything I've learned. Those are 8 things. 8 of many things that I've learned from streaming 8 years on Twitch. I hope this video was useful, or if not, entertaining. If not useful, then I hope it was entertaining. I hope some memories were made. I can't wait to talk about this video on stream, and then we can make even more memories. Anyways, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Oh, wait, no. And I forgot to say, I also stream on Twitch every single day, twitch.tv/beandip. If you guys want to check out my Twitch channel, you can see me using these tips every single day now. Okay.